And then I didn't start the video, so I'll start the video here. So when in doubt, shut it down.
You can maybe
Start. And we get back into Zoom now.
Do you have a printed agenda?
Yep,
Maybe Frankie, I can give Frankie one.
Yeah.
Take notes.
Yes. Okay, we're live now. Frank, you can have my
okay.
copy of the agenda here.
So be careful what you say, Frankie.
All right.
Okay, we're live.
All right, we are live streaming now. Sorry for the delay, if anyone's tuning in. I call the July 11th Board of Selectmen's meeting to order, and the time is 6:10. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens' comments? Okay. So thank you for joining us today. All right, approval of the minutes. You should all have a copy.
Yep, I've read the meeting minutes and make a motion that they be approved as written.
Second motion, just want to follow up. Do we write the fellow at 159?
I haven't done it yet. I haven't had a chance to talk to
Write it down.
planning and zoning. No, I have it written down on my list for planning and zoning. We've been short-staffed all week, so I haven't had a chance to talk to them. So the motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes for last week. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, they're approved. I do have to add a tax refund to the agenda under new business. If I can have a motion.
Yep, add tax refund as a new business.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so next is correspondence and announcements. Mostly what our meeting is. Okay, so let's. All right, so I received a letter of resignation. What the Elderly Commission had choose their they had some positions up for renewal for their term ended the end of June. So I had two people that didn't want to be reappointed, so I received a resignation letter from Lorraine Megario and from Vivian Root. They've been on the board since it started, and it's sad to see them go, but we'll regretfully accept their resignation.
There's only two vacancies on that board now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the vacancies. There's two vacancies on the Elderly Commission, and there's also the Housing Authority has a vacancy too that we're trying to fill. Next, the Seniors Market Program. I received a flyer from the Senior Resources. The senior, they have a Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program. It used to be vouchers. It's going to be electronic cards this year. We are taking applicants through the Selectmen's office, through either Julie, the phone number to call either Julie or I, and I'm still waiting to hear back what information to collect, because there's specific information that they need for it to activate the cards. And I'm waiting to find out exactly what they need for me to get people.
Is there an age and income?
Yes, there are. There's 60 years of older, and household of one is $2,248 per month. And a household of two is $3,041 a month. So this will all be on the website, and I think it'll be hanging up too. Also, I wrote the letter to planning and zoning requesting a D2 for referral for Church Street, as we discussed at a previous meeting. I received from the Board of Education the Voluntown Board of Education performance self-evaluation. July 22, 23. I have copies if anyone wants to read them. It's just for our records and from the Youth Service Bureau, also through the Board of Ed, the Youth Service Bureau, Local Prevention Council, Advisory Board, Self-Examination. They both list what they've done the past year. So I have copies if anyone wants to read them. And they'll be attached to the minutes. And last, I received an email from the local where is this from? This is from the Connecticut Training and Technical Assistance, or the T2 Center. They do a lot of programs and training for public works, and now they're going to be doing training for the local traffic authorities. So they have they haven't, I don't know if they've posted the classes yet. They might, but if anyone's interested in attending them, I'm going to try to. I'll see if I can find the list of the classes and post them. Because it says on June 26, 2023, Governor Lamont signed Senate Bill 904, Section 5 of the bill will require local traffic authorities or their designate. So it's going to be mandated that there is a training program attended. So.
Maybe we should ask the fellow across the street if he wants to attend.
Well, and whoever it is has to be on the traffic authority, so I have this on the agenda later, so we'll talk about it again. And that's all I have for. I don't know if anyone has anything. Okay. Public Works report, I don't have anything. Finance report in your packet are the finance reports from the treasurer and the finance director. All right, so Julie's month of June was spent working with departments on their final budget expenses for 22-23. We're still waiting for a couple of bills. All reports were submitted to OPM. Municipalities are required to submit their adopted budgets for fiscal 23-24 and their annual financial data for 22-23 by June 30th. The Town Aid Roads report was submitted to OPM, and King & King Associates were here on June 15th and 16th to conduct their audit. And the town is working on a new agenda and minute system. The system will create visualized agendas and minutes for all boards and commissions, and a place for all documents for each agenda minutes to be attached. This will make it easier for commission members and residents to see all documents for each meeting all in one place. So that's really.
That's that one. I'll
Thank
take
you.
that back.
Thank you.
Find your copy.
So we have Tony's. He has listed that we have earned $11,638 for the month of June, and for the fiscal year, $85,254 in investments and interest. Citizens Bank, the account allows us to seamlessly move investable funds to overnight accounts. These funds are FDIC assured, and the interest rate for June was 2.92%, and interest earned was $624. And the fiscal year to date is $12,214. State of Connecticut Short-Term Investment Fund, which is STIF. While these funds are not FDIC insured, they are extremely high rated. The rate of return is presently much higher than the Citizens Bank, offering a yield of 5.13%. Interest earned in the month was $11,015, and for the fiscal year to date, $74,040. So projects that the treasurer is working on, projects to help us speed up our check deposit function and better time accounts payable disbursements. This should allow us to keep funds invested a few days longer each month. The check deposit function called remote deposit capture is operational in both the treasurer and the tax office. It's really been helpful during tax collection. With the additional volume of checks in June and July, we've had a few issues with the scanners. These are minor in nature and have not impacted deposit operations. Town residents were notified of the new system, being our text.gov system and the July town newsletter. What went out was that the checks clear quicker. So we just sent out notifications to let people know that to anticipate the check clearing in a matter of days as opposed to weeks before.
What they've been used to in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah. So they
So-
weren't, so they were prepared.
Probably people used to write checks like, oh, this won't clear for another 3
Yeah.
weeks.
So they do take, it's only days now, so.
Old kiting.
The automated clearinghouse payment system is on summer break. Respectfully submitted, Anthony Madeira, the treasurer.
But the investments, I mean, what's the mill rate? 190, okay?
No.
Probably
No, it's like 200 something.
200,
It's like
Right.
closer to 2.
but this is, almost 0.75 of its mill then is what we, would be carry the forecast for the rest of the year. It's not bad,
Yeah.
so.
So those are the financial. Okay, old business. ARPA funds, I have no updates. The Baptist Church well project, we're still waiting for the bills to roll in, but the project's complete. The Fort Hill Bridge, there's been no updates. Municipal ISP,
No update.
no updates. Gate Street master plan, we haven't had a meeting since that one. So nothing. Municipal complex improvement project, Steve, this is the project that's going on right now. We're working on the repointing. Taylor, do me a favor. Can you close that door, please? Yeah.
The repointing.
Yeah, we're working on the repointing of the building. Which is interesting here during the day. It's pretty loud and vibrating. But it's coming right along. Even though the building doesn't look like it's open, we posted that we are open. Just to be, it depends on, well, this door has been closed for a while, so it's the front door that's open.
Can we back up to the Gate Street rec complex for a second?
Yep.
So I just want to call out Frankie for attending for a Scout Merit Badge citizenship in the community. You had a question about the Gate Street rec complex. You mentioned it at the beginning, Frankie. No?
Yes.
Yes, that thing.
How much would this cost in total, and how long would it take to get it all done in like a year, like a yearly span? How many years would it take all for like?
I think our plan is a 5 to 10 year plan. And that piece of paper that's right there has all the cost estimates on. That's our first cost estimate. At the last meeting, we went through and we changed it a bit. So some things we took, that's the estimate includes like the higher end of everything. So that's what the committee's working on right now. We're going through it and deciding exactly how much we want to invest in each project, because all the things that are numbered over there are going to be taken separate projects. So they'll be done piece by piece and not all at once. So
I noticed with one of them, are you worried about any safety issues? Like I heard there was like a bike skill park there.
Yep.
Are you worried about any safety issues and how if someone got really hurt, there could be legal actions taken? Because will there be any safety precautions taken? Will there be anybody like they're measuring how many people wear helmets or pads or what
Yep.
fences?
Yep, that will be part of the process as we go on, because part of this plan includes like what the town would need to invest for the longevity and
Okay.
use of it. So that would be part of that. Yeah.
So, and keep in mind that bike skills park is for little kids. this isn't a.
Well, it's not really.
Well, it's not a skate park. This
It's
is
not a skate park. It's it's for mountain bike. So it's a skills park for mountain bikes and it's not actually targeted towards little kids. It's targeted towards all kids and it's just,
Gotcha.
it's to have like to a smaller scale, the things you will find when you're mountain biking so that you can practice and learn the skills.
So thank you, Frankie. I just learned something.
It's not like a trick. It's not a trick like the I don't know, like what are those, not even kind of dirt bikes, but mountain bikes.
BMX.
It's not like a BMX.
BMX.
It's not a BMX
Yeah.
park. It's for mountain bikes. It's a mountain bike skills park. So it's a lot riskier than the BMX bike one. Yeah. Okay, did you have any other questions?
Oh, no, that's about it.
Thank you. All right, where were we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the seats. So that's where we are with that project right now. And now we are on to ordinances, the blight ordinance. So I passed out copies of it last meeting and I have sent a copy to the zoning officer, the building officer. He just got it today because he just started recently, and I sent it to the fire marshal too. These are all people that wouldn't be involved in the process. I haven't heard back. I've heard back from the zoning officer and he said that it looks reasonable. And I haven't heard back from anyone else. And I didn't know if you guys had questions about anything. I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask the attorney about it. So I didn't know if anyone else had anything.
My biggest concern is being able to fill the position of blight enforcement
It's
officer.
not, when you read this, it's not just the position of the blight enforcement officer. You also have the position of the citation enforcement officer, and you have a position of the citation hearing officer. So that's 3 separate people through the process, because you can't have the same person follow the whole process through. So there's one for the blight officer, one for the citation enforcement officer, and one for the citation hearing officer. The citation hearing officer is the one that actually holds the proceeding and gives the outcome. So those are my concerns about this, is that where are we going to find the separate people and who's going to do with them for free? We might have to pay someone to do it. So that's an investment from the town. And also who's going to do all the paperwork for this, because there's a lot if you read it.
Well, it's the blight enforcement admin person. So a 4th position.
Those are my only concerns, being
Yeah.
having small staff and not really having the money to pay for what we have. How are we gonna add more staff? So those are my concerns. As far as everything else, it seems like it's reasonably fair, so.
I think everything else that's in there
The only
is-
thing that's a problem is the actual enforcement part, which is, I don't want to put anything in place that we don't have the tools to enforce, and those are my problem.
So as in those 3 positions,
As
Ready
in
to be
finding the
filled.
3 positions, paying for the 3 positions, possibly a 4th position for the paperwork, because we know the problems that we have now. A lot of them don't even live in town, they just own property in town, so how far do we go to enforce it, and where, with who? So. Because we keep adding titles onto everyone in here, and it makes it hard to get things done that we need to get done too, so. Those are the stuff. For the one, I want to put something in place that's sustainable, and there are things in place that aren't, so. Like the noise ordinance, that is not a sustainable thing at all, and why have a noise ordinance if you can't enforce it?
and so for town ordinances, we have to be able to enforce. This is not calling true K.
The police aren't gonna enforce the blade ordinance.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you end up, if we ever end up getting a state trooper, would they even would they be able to?
I don't think they could do a blade ordinance.
No.
Yeah, it's not under their jurisdiction.
Yeah,
And to have something that we can enforce would be beneficial. I just don't really know how that would work. Well, we do have, I don't know.
and no one, if I remember correctly what you said, no one in the state really has this set up well.
No,
Stonington has one.
did we find what they have?
No, it's not the how one, they assess fines. It could be self-funded.
Because according to the attorney, like, we can't just have fines, you have to have a policy, and like, he said it right on here in one of his comments.
So, frankly, absolutely. You have to spend money towards it.
He said. Yeah, there's statutes and ways that you have to incorporate the fines, so. I don't know how Stonington does it, I haven't seen their policy or what they do. But. I don't mean, and who knows if it's even legal, honestly.
Well, they were taken to court,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go on.
It could be not legal,
Stonington was taken to court over it.
Yes,
yeah, so. That's probably the answer.
statutory authority from the state to do this. It's how you implement the process. You can't just take somebody's property away from them. So you have to go through a process where they have a right of appeal.
Yep.
Yeah.
There has to be a hearing, so forth, so on.
Yeah.
But it's the fines that really the carrot and stick to just clean your mess up. Just take the sofa out of the front yard. Just, but if you want to drag it out, fine.
But there's
$100 a day
more,
fine.
there's
Drag it
more
out for
to that in
60
this
days.
policy. This policy includes, like, our biggest problem right now is not the sofa in the front yard. It's the safety in the abandoned houses that aren't being taken care of. But I can tell you, 9 times out of 10, that property owner does not live in town and they pay taxes on that property. So some of those properties are some of the most expensive properties in town. And it doesn't bother them that they have nothing on that property besides the house that's falling down. So you can fine them $10 a day, then are they gonna pay it? Probably not. So I don't know.
Or-
There's still no teeth in it for that.
Or the situation you just described, they may just pay it.
Yeah.
And they may just continue paying it. Because that's easier than doing anything.
Not at $100 a day, it's not. Then it
So-
gets expensive.
But then these are the people that are gonna do the hearings that are gonna drag the process out.
The fines still accrue.
The fines do, but if we don't have people to fill the positions, how do we do you can't impose a fine if you don't.
We may have to hire people
Yeah.
temporarily.
So what we need to look at then is Stonington has a blight ordinance. Have they hired? So what we need to figure out is who has blight ordinances and who have they hired and how have they hired?
I'll go down and ask them this week.
So. And there is no way of figuring out other than reaching out to the people we know, right?
Yeah, I can tell you, anyone I've talked to that has a blight ordinance has the problem that it's not enforceable. And
Is
it's
that because they don't have the people in place or because?
probably because they don't have the people in place. then it's all up to if you appoint someone as a blight enforcement officer, as it states in here, they don't have to have a complaint. They can get complaints, but they don't have to have a complaint to do anything. So it depends on who you have as a blight enforcement officer too. Are they gonna go after every abandoned house in town, even if there's no complaints, or some people are just gonna complain about everything and they're gonna have to go after everything in people's yards? Like, how busy is this person gonna be?
Well, what I was thinking was that if there isn't a cost to file a complaint, then you have the possibility of people who harassing their neighbors doing just that.
Yeah.
But if every time you file a complaint, there's a $50 filing fee,
You can't, I don't think you can do that.
well, we'll ask the lawyer.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to discourage people from deciding, well, and make your life miserable because I don't like your house, you know, it's got
Yeah.
mold on the side of it.
I don't think you can do a filing fee for a complaint.
What's that?
Complaints have to be like, anyone can.
You know what? I pay a fee for every license that I have in the state. I pay a fee to get my TWIC card. I pay fees to the state every time I turn around. It's not possible that we can't charge a filing fee.
complain. I'll find out.
So the discussion continues in
Yes,
the future.
So I'm gonna ask the attorney about a filing fee, if we can do filing fee for complaints. And I was also gonna ask him about the positions of the citation enforcement officer and the citation hearing officer, and like if there's qualifications or like how that works. So I don't know if anyone else had any other questions.
no, just keep working on it.
Did you have any questions?
I've already asked my questions. I'm good.
All right, so that, the Volantown Fire Station Improvement Designs, that's no updates. So this is the local traffic authority designee appointment. So I read more on this and we don't want to appoint anyone as the local traffic authority designee because I thought this was to like have someone appointed to take the classes, like to make sure we have someone that's taking the classes so that we, because now there's a law that someone has to take them.
Yep.
But I was looking on the state website where they have the list of all the local traffic authority designees, and that's some have the first selectman appointed as the local traffic authority. Like they're the one that does all the duties of the local traffic authority. And I was like, I do not want that job. So we're keeping it the board of selection. And I can do the to make sure I can pass out the schedule of the training, or I can just make sure I do the training, or whoever the first selectman is does the training. So that way someone that's always in the building knows what's going on. Because that was my point, was that the first selectman should be the one probably taking the classes, because they're the one here and getting the complaints and getting everything. And
What is the responsibility of the position?
it's to like decide where to put signs and decide where to maintain like the traffic on the town roads.
Where we have little to no issues as opposed to all the state roads where we have all the issues.
But some complaints have to go, like I have a whole flow chart of like when a complaint comes in. Where does the person go to? Is it the local traffic authority? Is it the DOT, like we went through all this at the other meeting, all the different areas that do
Yep.
traffic. So
I remember
I
now.
have like a flow chart of like who does what. If it's a state road, who does it? If it's a town road, who does it? Because there are some things that are town roads that the state does. So that's where that was. But I don't want to be appointed as a local traffic authority. I don't want to. Because that's what I thought. I thought that the statute was saying that someone had to be appointed as the person, but they don't. So the school zone signs on 138, I'm still working on that. I had to reach out to the person that I was working with before he got transferred to a different section, so he doesn't do this anymore. So he was supposed to set me up with the person that does, and I haven't heard back yet. But I just wanted to clarify, and I couldn't remember if I clarified this before, that all of the signs that are up right now, they are not school zone signs. They are pedestrian crossing signs. So the flashing lights on both ends, they're not school zone, they're pedestrian crossing, because that sign of the people walking, that's being crossed, not school. So we currently have no school zone signs up whatsoever, they're all pedestrian crossing. I'm waiting to be connected with a person that will help me finish that, because I did get like road plans, like where the signs would go last time. And I still have those plans, but I just want to make sure that they're current, because they're probably like a year old now, because at the time I got the plans, we didn't have the funding for it. We got the funding approved, and now I want to make sure that those everything's still good. And I'm going to be going to the Board of Selectmen's meeting, the Board of Ed meeting in August to go over that. Hopefully I'll get connected with this person before then, because they gave me a couple of different options for the signs. And I wanted to get the Board of Ed input on where they would think that the signs would be more appropriate.
But it's like coming in this way, they home.
Yeah,
Here, this way, I think they slow down.
Kathy's on the Board of Ed.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with that. It's a work in progress. Special events on town property policy. I was working with Jody over time on a special events policy for any special events being held anywhere that had over a certain number of people attending. And then I think we were looking at 500, but I'm not sure, 200 or 500. But the issue has come up where we've been getting, since we've got the pavilion and COVID's gone and everything's nice, people want to use the pavilion for private events. We recently were asked for a private event of over 100 people with alcohol, and we have no policy whatsoever. I did say no for the alcohol because after it was like a day and night thing, and that just, we don't want to be responsible for that. So, but again, we don't have a policy for this. So, I've been looking, I don't have anything together yet, but I've been looking at other towns to see what they do. I'll be working with the fire marshal to make sure we have everything covered for fire marshal stuff. Because if they do have a private, like for town events or for any organization that's part of the town, we're all covered with town insurance, and we have policies for stuff like that are in writing, but there's like states, like if we wanted to have a town event with a food truck that had alcohol, we could do that, and we have state guidelines on how you do stuff.
Right,
like
but that's a
that.
town event. If
It's a private event, there is no.
So what I suggest there for the policy is, like Scouts regularly use town property like the pavilion
Yeah.
and the gazebo. And for that, it's an unwritten, it may not be a written policy, but because Julie was involved in Scout for so long, she knows to ask for us to provide a insurance certificate,
Yeah.
which is issued by BSA.
Yeah.
So when we have an event anywhere, we reach out to headquarters and say, hey, we're having this event out in public. And they say, do you need a $1 or a $2 million certificate? And they provide it, and then we provide it to whatever facility we're using.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great example of what we can ask for and what probably a lot of organizations are set up to
Yeah.
do.
So that's what I've noticed when I've been going through things a lot. There are a lot of the same things, so I just have to pull it and put it into something, and hopefully I'm working with the rec commission too. Because the town property is mostly under their jurisdiction, so, but we have to streamline the policy of like, is it their final say over what happens, or is it the Board of Selectmen say, or like who does, what kind of applications go with what for what kind of events? We can't charge people, or if we did, we'd have to charge everyone because it being under the rules for it being open space, we can't charge one type of person and not another type. Like we can't say residents will have to pay, have no fee to rent, but non-residents have to pay like $100 to rent. Like you can't do that. It has to be the same to everyone. So we'd have to figure out that, but I did see some towns, they didn't charge for the rental of the space, they charged for like the electricity, they charged for like stuff like that.
You have parking policies?
We don't,
We've been turning down Tamarack on the Board of Ed,
yeah,
asking to park because,
At the school and then
Yeah.
bus people.
yeah,
yeah, we've been turning them down because there's alcohol involved and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
you know, and what our liability would
Right.
be
yeah.
and stuff. And then are they coming here?
I let them use back here, but yeah, that's it,
Because I think there's some drinking within somebody that's hurt
yeah,
and rolls over the other person's foot or whatever.
right, yeah, no, they've used a lot here for a couple of years, we haven't had any problems. So. I don't even know how many people they park, they do it on Sundays when no one's here, so. Let's see. So, on to, the tax refund,
Jim, say, did we add something?
we did, I wrote it down on there. All right, so we received a request from the tax collector for a tax refund in the amount of $661.76 to Vault Trust. For I don't know what property.
I saw the Michigan address of like the company that we're refunding to.
Yeah, it must be a mortgage company. So it's a mortgage company.
I make a motion to approve the tax refund as recommended by the tax assessor.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the tax refund as recommended by the tax collector. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, hearing none, it's approved. All right, so other business,
have we heard anything further from the Wiley School historical people about their flagpole request?
nothing.
Maybe we might suggest to them that Veterans Day be a good day to dedicate a new flagpole if they could get around to asking us for one.
Okay,
That would save you some grief from
Yes.
people. And it's just, it's too bad they just can't get around doing it themselves, but
Yeah.
maybe that would be the,
okay. Suggestions for the next meeting?
donuts.
Copy.
Adjournment?
Motion to adjourn. Oh,
Actually,
Pause.
you're gonna give me information on the Lake Association.
Yeah. I'll clear out my notes to do. I have to find,
To the letter to 159 Wiley School Road.
for what?
The letter to 159 Wiley School Road, Lake Association.
Okay. I think I gave it all to the person that was gonna do it before.
Who's moved.
So I'll see what I can probably find the number. I can probably find the phone number for the person that was helping that spoke at the meeting. Yeah.
Before adjourn, I just thought of one other thing, while it's semi-fresh in my memory. Do we want to see if we can appoint someone to be the coordinator for the Memorial Day Parade for next year? So that they've got plenty of time to ask the questions, because I even had someone volunteer for the position.
Yeah, I gotta talk to, trying to work out the details on that with Jody, because the parade traditionally has always been run by someone affiliated with a veterans association or a military association. They're the ones that have always done the parade. There haven't really been any volunteers from that area, so then the fire department, it's been done through the veterans organizations and the fire department, and the town just
Pays the
like
bill.
paid it, yeah.
Right,
So we haven't officially taken it over as a town project yet, and I want to wait and find out from the fire department if that's something that they want to do or not, if they want to take it over. I don't know, because I did mention the committee, which I think is an idea that should be started right away, so
Exactly.
I'll touch base back on that too and see where we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because to put it bluntly, and this is not meant to be disparaging, but we can keep doing what we've done for the past 2 years, where it's kind of just, okay, let's just try and fumble it together. And, or we can have someone who is willing to take charge, even if they're not from a veterans
Right,
organization.
no, I know,
So,
that's where the conversation is, so,
motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
I.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.
Every little thing.
6:50. I will stop this.
Did you have any questions?
Nope.
Do you want me to explain how the meeting works?